Welcome to weekly recap for Eurgbp on October for the third week of October. Let's just get started. This was an analysis from last week. We said that price is going to range between these two levels. We need to break above or break below to go further down because it's currently accumulating. Otherwise, it will just play between these ranges, like go up, down. If it breaks back below, then it'll go down to this level, right? So it'll just play between these ranges. What we saw early on in the week was, well, these are the levels. These are the levels that we have drawn from the analysis, right, from last week's analysis. You can see they're off daily price action. That's here, right? So these levels are strong. When you look at 4 hours just been playing in these levels, right? Not completely perfect, but it's just playing nonetheless, right? So what we knew is we would be watching if price either came up here or here, right? So let's see what happened. In the beginning of the week, on October 19th, price pulled down. Price pulled down to this area of price activity. And if you look on the higher time frame, price accumulated here before it broke up and then continued up. So this is a strong liquidity area, right? And then you can even narrow it down. So you see price pulling back in pre-London. You can narrow that down. Okay, it's most likely liquidity grab, right? And there's a solid wick here on the 30 minute. I'm just going to remove this line just so we can visualize that better. So there's a solid wick there on the 30 minute, right? And price tapped exactly at 3:30 a.m. It rejected, so 30 minutes after London open. So there should have been no reason to enter anything here until you saw price pull down to a daily support. And then what do you see happening? Structure starts shifting. Price starts creating higher lows instead of doing this, right? So when you look at the 1 minute, oops, okay, 1 minute is the same thing as well. As soon as you tapped into it, what happened? What happened? Okay, rejection. These lows here are higher than this low. These two lows here are higher than this low. And then these lows here also broke past this structure and are higher than this low, right? And then look what happens once we break past here, right? Price retest continues up. So market went from doing this and pre-London and prior and the day before to now doing this. See how structure shifted when we tapped into a daily zone, right? So that's what we got to watch for, and that happened exactly at this 30-minute wick area on the daily level right here that we've had for last week's analysis. So that's perfect reversal trade. Where could you target? You could target up here, these wicks. You could take partial positions here and then just target up there. So the smart thing would have been to take partials actually right here. Because as you can see, when we tapped into it, we rejected it. So 1 to 4 risk reward, stop loss like 12 pips. Right, best is when if you guys can take levels, okay? And then what we saw happen was, okay, we had this trend line here, right? And then price broke above, retested it, and then continued up to this level, the next daily level that we had. What happened first was that we saw an initial rejection, and then price went back up and started accumulating, right? Price started accumulating. Once you broke out of the accumulation, price continued down to the next daily level. We talked about this before as well. Okay, see? When we look at it, price is just ranging, right? What does that mean? Price ranges and then breaks out of the range and continues down. So that means this level was respected. Continued down, okay? Nice entry would have been when you saw price doing this pullback, this couple candle pullback, and then you see it rejecting here. So after this first 5 minute candle, you could take in sells because you knew it's most likely lower high. This was a liquidity grab, and then price can now continue down. And in that same session, so 3 a.m., right? It's 3 a.m. till 9. So 6 hours later, it was 100 pips. You could have taken profit here for like 60 pips in any of these areas, right? So you can get like nice 50 pips on Euro JPY easily, like over here, 45. Let's just drag it down, right? Because that was the next target. That was the next daily zone that we had from the analysis, right? Daily zone there. And then what happened? Price came down to daily zone. We know that if it's going to, and then it started consolidating, start accumulating. We know that if we have to break down, price would break down toward down and then retest and then go down, okay, low high. But that's not what happened, right? This is what I mean. Don't anticipate. Even though we saw a large drop, we're at a daily demand level again, right? What happened previously? What happened before here? Price created a low, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows for an entire day from October 21st to October 21st in like 11 a.m. Eastern to October 23rd. So like 36 hours, price just accumulated, right? And as soon as we broke out of this hourly accumulation, price created an intraday high, came down to retest, and then continued up. But where would it continue up to market's close? It was market's open, most likely up here, right? So you see how market's very cyclical, right? And then best entry to take on here would have been this area right here, right? So you can go because you don't get a proper retest of it, don't take it. So you can even set a buy limit here. Nice retest, enter on there, right? Enter on there and 50 pips. Clean, super clean. And all at the levels that we talked about, right? Price just played these ranges up, down, up, down. That was it. Okay, so 50 pips here, 100, 150, 200 pips on Eurgbp line alone within 3 days. All right, take care.